Grab your remote and put the grocery list down because everything you think you know about growing sweet potatoes is about to change. Most gardeners assume you need a big backyard, warm southern soil, and perfect weather to grow these golden tubers. Wrong. Dead wrong. Adam Grove here from Backyard Crops, and what we're covering today will completely transform how you think about indoor food growing. Sweet potatoes can thrive in your living room, your apartment balcony, or a spare bedroom corner, producing consistent, delicious harvests 12 months a year, no outdoor space required. No frost damage, no pest invasions, no seasonal limits. Just fresh, homegrown sweet potatoes whenever you want them. Sound too good? Stick around, because we are going to break this all down step by step, from choosing the right variety to curing your harvest like a pro. If growing your own food at home sounds like something you want to master, hit that subscribe button right now and ring the bell so you never miss a new episode of Backyard Crops. Why growing sweet potatoes indoors is smarter than you think. Before we get into the how, let us talk about the why, because there are real, concrete advantages to growing sweet potatoes indoors that most gardeners overlook completely. When you grow outdoors, you're at the mercy of your climate. Sweet potatoes are a warm season crop. They need soil temperatures above 60 degrees Fahrenheit and a long frost-free growing window of at least 100 to 140 days. That's a serious limitation if you live in the northern United States, Canada, or anywhere with cold winters. Indoors, none of that applies. You control the temperature. You control the light cycle. You decide when to plant and when to harvest. The growing season never ends. Indoor growing also dramatically reduces your pest pressure. Outdoors, sweet potato weevils, one of the most destructive sweet potato pests in the world, can devastate an entire crop underground before you even notice. Fungal diseases spread easily in humid garden beds, but in a controlled indoor environment, these threats are nearly eliminated. And here's something most people don't expect. Sweet potato vines are genuinely beautiful. The trailing, heart-shaped foliage comes in deep green, purple bronze, and even variegated forms. Placed near a bright window, your sweet potato planter doubles as a stunning living decoration. Function meets beauty. That's what Backyard Crops is all about. If you're finding this useful, drop a comment below telling us where you plan to grow your indoor sweet potatoes. We read every single one. Choosing the right variety. Not all sweet potatoes behave the same indoors. This is one of the most important decisions you'll make, and most beginner guides skip over it entirely. The wrong variety in a container will sprawl out of control, underperform, and leave you frustrated. Sweet potato plants are classified by their growth habit. Vining types produce incredibly long runners, sometimes 8 to 10 feet in a single season, and while they're excellent outdoors, they're difficult to manage in a living room. Bush type and semi-bush varieties, on the other hand, stay compact and manageable, making them ideal for container growing. Vardaman is one of the best choices for indoor growing. It has a genuine bush habit, meaning the vines stay short and dense rather than sprawling across your floor. It produces beautiful purple-tinted young leaves and a reliable crop of orange-fleshed tubers. Porto Rico is another excellent compact variety with a long history of use in small gardens. It has a sweet, moist flesh and produces well even in confined root space. Centennial produces smaller vines than standard vining types and is well adapted to container culture. It was originally bred as a canning variety, meaning the flesh is consistent and flavorful even after cooking. One thing to always remember: purchase certified, disease-free slips or seed potatoes from a reputable nursery. Planting a grocery store sweet potato might seem like a clever shortcut, but commercial sweet potatoes are often treated with sprout inhibitors, and they may carry pathogens that will affect your soil setup. Getting the foundation right. Sweet potatoes are root vegetables, and that means the container you choose has a direct impact on how many tubers you produce. Cramped roots equal a cramped harvest. The minimum container size recommended by horticulture experts is 15 gallons, with a depth of at least 12 to 18 inches. For a truly productive plant, a 20-gallon container gives the tubers room to swell to full size. Fabric grow bags in these sizes are a fantastic option. They are affordable, lightweight, and their breathable walls prevent the overwatering problems that plague solid plastic pots. Drainage is non-negotiable. Sweet potatoes will rot in waterlogged soil. They need excellent drainage to thrive. Make sure your container has multiple drainage holes, and if you're using a saucer underneath, never let it sit in standing water. For your soil mix, do not use straight garden soil. It is too heavy and will compact in a container. The ideal indoor sweet potato mix is 2 parts peat or cocoa coir, 1 part compost, and 1 part coarse sand or perlite. This combination holds just enough moisture to feed the roots while draining freely enough to prevent rot. Cocoa coir is worth highlighting specifically. It is a sustainable alternative to peat moss, made from coconut husks, and it has excellent water retention with a loose, airy structure. For indoor growing, it is one of the best amendments you can add to your soil mix. Before filling your container, place a layer of small gravel or broken terracotta pieces at the bottom to further improve drainage and prevent soil from washing out of the holes. Share this video with a friend who has been wanting to grow their own food but thinks they need a garden. Let us help them get started. Sprouting slips, the starting point of every great harvest. A slip is a young shoot sprouted from a sweet potato tuber, and it is the standard method for propagating sweet potatoes. Unlike many vegetables that grow from seeds, sweet potatoes are almost always started from slips because they do not produce reliable seeds. To sprout your own slips at home, take a certified disease-free sweet potato and bury it halfway in a small container of moist soil. Place it somewhere warm, 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal, and in bright indirect light. Shoots should emerge within 2 to 6 weeks. Once those shoots reach 6 to 10 inches long and develop their own small roots, they can be snapped off at the base and planted in their permanent container. Each sweet potato can produce multiple slips, sometimes 10 to 20 per tuber, giving you excellent value from a single starter potato. Alternatively, you can purchase slips directly from garden centers or online nurseries in the spring. If ordering online, look for sellers who guarantee disease-free stock and ship with the roots wrapped in damp paper towels to prevent drying out during transit. Start your slips 6 to 8 weeks before you plan to move them into their final growing container. For indoor growing, late winter or early spring is a natural time to begin. The lengthening days bring more natural light, which benefits the young plants. That said, with supplemental grow lights, you can realistically start at any point in the year. When transplanting slips into the large container, plant them about 3 to 4 inches deep, with the roots buried and the leaves above the soil. Water gently after planting and place in your brightest available spot. Light requirements, the single biggest factor in your harvest. Of all the care factors for indoor sweet potatoes, light is the one that most directly determines your yield. These are not low-light houseplants. They are sun-hungry tropical crops that evolved in open fields under direct sun for most of the day. A south-facing window is your best natural option. A well-positioned south window in the northern hemisphere can deliver 6 to 8 hours of direct sun per day, which is the absolute minimum for a productive sweet potato plant. East or west-facing windows can supplement but rarely deliver enough light on their own. For most indoor environments, supplemental grow lights are not optional, they are essential. LED grow lights have become dramatically more affordable and effective in recent years. For sweet potatoes, you want a full-spectrum LED light that covers the red and blue wavelengths that drive photosynthesis and tuber development. Set your grow light on a timer for 12 to 14 hours of light per day. One advanced technique worth knowing, sweet potato tuber formation is actually triggered by shorter day lengths, a process called photoperiodism. In their native environment, shortening autumn days signal the plant to redirect energy from leaf growth to tuber development. Some indoor growers deliberately shorten light exposure to 10 to 11 hours per day, around 60 to 70 days after planting, to trigger this tuber swelling response. It's a technique borrowed from commercial sweet potato production, and it can meaningfully increase your indoor harvest. If you want more advanced growing techniques like that one delivered straight to your feed, make sure you have liked this video. It genuinely helps us reach more home growers.
Finding the right balance. Watering sweet potatoes correctly is a balance between two extremes: too dry and the tubers crack and stay small, too wet and they rot entirely. The goal is consistently moist soil, not wet, not dry. Check your soil roughly once a week by pressing your finger 1 to 2 inches into the surface. If it feels dry at that depth, water thoroughly until you see water draining from the bottom of the container. If it still feels moist, wait another day or two and check again. In hot summer months or under strong grow lights, you may need to water twice a week. In cooler, lower light conditions, once a week is often sufficient. The key is observation. Check the soil rather than following a rigid schedule. For fertilizer, sweet potatoes have a specific nutritional preference that is important to understand. They need phosphorus and potassium more than nitrogen. Nitrogen is the nutrient that drives leafy green growth, and if you feed sweet potatoes with a nitrogen-heavy fertilizer, you will get an absolutely stunning plant with lush trailing vines and virtually no tubers to harvest. Use a balanced fertilizer with a low nitrogen value. Look for formulas where the first number, nitrogen, is lower than the second and third numbers, phosphorus and potassium, such as a 5-10-10 or 4-8-8. Apply every 3 to 4 weeks throughout the growing season. Stop fertilizing about 4 weeks before you intend to harvest. Wood ash added lightly to the soil is an old-fashioned organic way to boost potassium levels and has been used by sweet potato growers for generations. It also slightly raises soil pH, which can benefit plants in naturally acidic potting mixes. Temperature, humidity, and air circulation. Sweet potatoes are warm climate crops, and they perform best when kept consistently warm. The ideal indoor temperature range for growing sweet potatoes is 65 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, with nighttime temperatures staying above 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Temperatures below 55 degrees Fahrenheit will slow growth significantly and can damage developing tubers. This makes sweet potatoes well suited to the average indoor home environment. Most people keep their homes in exactly this temperature range year-round. Avoid placing your container near drafty windows, air conditioning vents, or exterior doors where temperatures can fluctuate dramatically. Humidity is generally not a limiting factor indoors, but extremely dry air, common in winter when heating systems run constantly, can stress the plants and cause leaf edges to brown. A light misting of the foliage or placing a small tray of water near the plant can help in very dry conditions. Air circulation is something indoor growers often overlook. Stagnant air increases the risk of fungal issues and can weaken stem tissue over time. A small fan running on low for a few hours each day improves air movement, strengthens stem tissue, and mimics the natural outdoor breeze that sweet potato plants evolved in. Recognizing growth stages and what to expect. Understanding what is happening underground helps you make better decisions throughout the growing season. Sweet potatoes do not develop like other root vegetables. They are not predictable in their growth pattern. In the first 3 to 4 weeks after planting slips, the plant is almost entirely focused on establishing its root system. Above ground, growth may appear slow. Do not panic and do not over-fertilize trying to push growth. Underground work is happening. From weeks 4 through 10, the plant enters vigorous vegetative growth. Vines will extend rapidly, leaves will multiply, and the plant will begin to develop storage roots, the tubers. This is the phase where light and consistent watering matter most. From around week 10 onwards, if light conditions are good and nutrients are adequate, the tubers will begin to swell in earnest. You will not see this happening. It is all underground. But the plant above will often look slightly less aggressive in its vine growth as energy redirects downward. The full growing cycle from slip to harvest is typically 90 to 120 days indoors, depending on variety, light levels, and temperature. Vardaman tends toward the shorter end of that range, which makes it a popular choice for growers wanting quicker results.
Timing and technique. Knowing when to harvest is as important as everything that comes before it. Harvest too early and the tubers will be small and underdeveloped. Wait too long and the oldest tubers may start to deteriorate in the soil. The most reliable timing indicator is the calendar. Plan to harvest 90 to 120 days after planting your slips. As you approach that window, begin watching for visual cues. If the foliage starts to yellow and the vines slow their growth, that is often a natural signal that the plant is finishing its cycle. About 1 week before you plan to harvest, stop watering the container entirely. This drying down period concentrates the sugars in the tubers, improves skin set, and makes curing more effective. It also reduces the moisture in the soil, making the harvest itself much cleaner.
To harvest, gently tip the container on its side and slide the entire soil mass out onto a tarp or a large sheet. Carefully pull apart the soil with your hands rather than using tools. Sweet potato skins are surprisingly fragile, and even minor cuts or bruises will lead to rot during storage. Shake loose the soil gently, gather your tubers, and lay them out in a single layer for curing. Just found out how to harvest? Share this video with your gardening group or community page. Let us grow this community of home food producers together. Curing and storing your harvest like a pro. This final step is where most first-time sweet potato growers make their biggest mistake. They skip the curing process entirely and wonder why their potatoes taste starchy or bland. Curing is what transforms a freshly dug sweet potato into the sweet, rich, flavorful vegetable you recognize from the kitchen. During curing, the skin hardens and thickens, any minor surface wounds seal over naturally, and most importantly, the plant's starches begin converting to sugars. A freshly dug sweet potato is actually quite starchy and mild in flavor. After proper curing, those same tubers become noticeably sweeter and more complex in taste. The ideal curing conditions are a temperature of 80 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit with 80 to 90% relative humidity maintained for 5 to 10 days. This can be achieved by placing your harvested sweet potatoes in a warm room, near a water heater, above a refrigerator, or in a warm corner, and covering them loosely with a damp cloth or placing them inside a breathable bag. After curing, move the sweet potatoes to a cooler storage location. The ideal long-term storage temperature is 55 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. A cool pantry, a basement shelf, or a dedicated storage area works well. Do not refrigerate sweet potatoes. Temperatures below 50 degrees Fahrenheit cause a condition called chilling injury, which breaks down cell walls and creates an off flavor that no amount of cooking can fix. Properly cured and stored sweet potatoes can last 4 to 6 months without significant quality loss, meaning a single good indoor harvest could supply your kitchen well into the following growing season. Troubleshooting common indoor sweet potato problems. Even with the best setup, problems can arise. Knowing what to look for and how to respond quickly can save your harvest. Leggy, pale vines with few leaves. Almost always a light problem. Move the plant closer to the window or add grow lights. Increase daily light hours if possible. Yellow leaves starting from the base. Could be overwatering, poor drainage, or nitrogen deficiency. Check that the container drains freely and adjust your fertilizer schedule. Wilting even after watering. If the soil is moist but the plant is wilting, this can indicate root rot from consistently saturated soil. Improve drainage immediately and reduce watering frequency. Very few or tiny tubers at harvest, usually caused by one of 3 factors: too much nitrogen fertilizer, insufficient light, or the container being too small for proper root development. Cracked or split tubers, typically caused by inconsistent watering, long dry periods followed by heavy watering. Try to maintain consistent soil moisture throughout the growing season. White residue on soil surface. This is mineral salt buildup from fertilizer and tap water. Flush the container thoroughly with plain water every few months to prevent root damage from salt accumulation. Growing sweet potatoes indoors is one of the most rewarding projects a home food grower can take on. You get a productive food crop, a beautiful trailing plant, and the satisfaction of knowing exactly where your food came from, all without needing a single square foot of outdoor space. Recap the key moves. Choose a compact bush-type variety like Vardaman or Porto Rico. Plant certified disease-free slips in a 15 to 20-gallon container with excellent drainage. Give the plants maximum light with grow lights on a 12 to 14-hour cycle. Keep the soil consistently moist but never soggy. Feed with a low nitrogen fertilizer, and cure your harvest properly before storing. Follow those steps and you will have a harvest worth talking about. Backyard Crops is built by a community of home growers just like you. If this video brought value to your growing journey, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who would love to grow their own food at home. Drop your questions, your grow setup photos, or your harvest results in the comments below.
Adam Grove and the Backyard Crops team want to see what you are growing.